From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is a severe weather alert.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Alongside Sam Camp and meteorologist Taylor Plott. Time is 2:43. New severe thunderstorm warning on the board. This includes Lincoln County, far western parts of Franklin County, and far north and northeastern parts of Madison County. This is for these two clusters of storms that are ongoing near the Kelso community, down east of Bellevue and Park City. Flintville seeing some light shower activity right now, but the storm activity is off to your northwest at this point. The warning goes until 3:45 this afternoon, so it goes an hour down the road, and this could be capable of producing some damaging wind gusts at about maybe 40, 50, even 60 miles per hour, and maybe some small hail. Let me go ahead and read the warning. It is another slow mover moving southeast at 5 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour gust, and penny-size hail. What's the wind look like on this, Sam? This will probably have a better look at it from high top because the winds will be coming in. Flip over to base velocity. There's really not a lot going on there. Yeah, just looking at that, there's really not a lot of wind, but I would say that there's still that chance for maybe some 40, maybe 50 mile per hour wind gusts with this. But based on the velocity signature, I'm not really seeing much in the way of wind right now. Now, what the Weather Service could be doing is, and I did see this in the Madison County storm earlier, that these are going up, and then once they collapse, then you'll start getting more wind energy coming down from the storm. So they might be anticipating getting maybe some of the stronger winds. Flip back to reflectivity real quick, Sam, and do like a loop. I'm curious if that's kind of what they're trying to get at. It might be. These look like they're probably going to pulse up a little bit more. So it's possible that there might not be damaging winds going on now, but it doesn't mean that there can't be a little bit later on. But at least right now, I'm not seeing anything that is telling me from the radar data that this is something that's producing severe gusts right now. But it could in the near future, especially if you get some wet microbursts that come out from this. So it's possible that these cells are going to continue to go up. And then once they collapse, then you're going to start getting a lot more wind coming down from it. So while there's not severe winds right now, it doesn't mean that there can't be a little bit later. A really rural area here of Lincoln County and far northern Madison County. So the only cities and communities that are popping up are Aurora at 310 and the Plevna community north of Newmarket, right there along Winchester Road. That is around 321. So these will continue to sink down to the south very slowly. And again, like I said, if there is some severe wind in this, I don't think it's happening now, but it could happen later, especially if one of these cells decides to have a wet microburst with it, and that could contain 50, maybe 60 mile per hour winds. All right, let's bounce down to the flash flood warning, Sam, because we did have a report coming in from a train spotter, and it reports floodwater covered all of the southbound lanes of Sparkman Drive on the campus of UAH. Estimated 6-inch depth in spots based on social media photos. And that would go along with where we had that heaviest rain. This is the dual pole 3-hour rain total. And right on top of UAH and on top of Bridge Street and Research Park, about 1.5 to 2 inches of rain. So we did have some flooding ongoing. These are kind of very flood-prone areas, especially with the roadways that I mentioned. The Parkway gets a lot of water on it when it's raining very heavily. 565 does too. They just don't drain very well when there's just a ton of water being dumped at one time, and those rain rates were very heavy. So there's probably still some flooding going on here in this flash flood warning. Again, the report, at least right now, is that we've had some flooding on Sparkman Drive. That's this road right here. If Sam can actually zoom in maybe just a little bit closer, zoom into TUAH if you don't mind, Sam. It's a little bit closer. That's what this road is right here. Here's Sparkman Drive right here. So the southbound lanes on the campus of UH. Matter of fact, that's right next to the Weather Service office in Huntsville. It's on the west side of Sparkman Drive. So that's that road right here. So there is flooding being reported on the campus of UH and Sparkman Drive. Would not be shocked if there's some other flooded roadways, maybe in some of the neighborhood streets over here towards Bridge Street, near the Elko community as well. Gate 9 on the Arsenal is right over here. So I wouldn't be shocked if there's still some floodwaters going on in parts of West Huntsville. Now, for Memorial Parkway, and I'm not seeing much of the way of rainfall totals, but I would imagine that there's probably some ponding that happened, and that's probably dissipated by this point. So I wouldn't be too concerned about some flash flooding, at least along and near Memorial Parkway right now. Plus, I haven't seen any reports come across the Weather Service chat relaying any of those flooding concerns other than the one that we mentioned that's on Sparkman Drive on the campus of UAH. So just be aware of that if you're in on UAH, if you're in Research Park, the East Research Park area going towards Mid-City and 565, just know that there is some flooding that has been going on in this area. Let's go ahead and take the view. What you got?
That storm up in Lincoln County has started to grow pretty.
I was curious if that was going to happen.
It's kind of started to
Yeah.
grow a little bit.
So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We went from hardly any lightning strikes to 50.
okay, so that's probably what the Weather Service was doing. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of taken back by looking at the velocity data on this, and they actually had a severe thunderstorm warning on it. So it looks like it was maybe a preemptive one because these cells, and again, I saw it in the Madison County one right before we went back on. I also talked about the flash flood warning coming out, that these storms will go up, and then once they collapse, you'll get a wet microburst, and that's when you'll actually start to get that velocity signature on radar. So let's go ahead and switch over to the velocity data real quick, and let's see if that's starting to respond with some of. And there is that red and that green. I know it's not bright, but that is telling me that these storms are kind of coming out like this. So I wouldn't be shocked if we would start to get a little bit more velocity signature here on this one. So Flintville down to Bellevue, all the way down towards the state line, Plevna, Elora, down towards Newmarket. I'm not saying that you're going to get huge damaging wind gusts from this, but I wouldn't be shocked if we could get some upwards of 60 miles per hour if this collapses pretty quickly. So this is moving very slow again, and that's still just the Elora and Plevna community. Newmarket will probably be closer to 330, I would think. So again, these are not moving fast, which is also why we have to watch the flash flooding potential for these as well. So we'll have to watch for that here across parts of southern Lincoln County as well. And like Sam said, the lightning strikes are going up on it, so 46. And you want to switch to let's switch to the Ardmore camera real quick, and then we'll kind of reset the view and toss things back. So this is Arctic Air Skycam Network. Looking at Ardmore, and this is on the water tank on the north side. This is on the Tennessee side. There's two water tanks in Ardmore, the one on the Tennessee side, and then you got the other one that's on the Alabama side. This is on the Tennessee side, brought to you by the Giles County Emergency Management, and this is looking back into that storm to the east. And notice how the cloud bases, they're pretty high up here, so obviously, that's one instance why we're not really dealing with much in the way of a tornado risk today. You need some of those lower cloud bases, and we don't really have that low-level wind shear present today. So this is a look back into the storms over there. Definitely a good rain shaft on this one, and you got another rain shaft on that one over here. So good look from our Ardmore camera on the north side of the city of Ardmore. Again, this on the Tennessee side, looking to the east. Here's a quick reset. Go ahead and hit the DMA view, if you will. Or did you? Oh, you switched it back to Lynx 1. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. There we go. So here's just a reset, and then we'll send things back to a regular scheduled program on our channel. I'm not really seeing much in the way of these trying to become severe right now, but the cold front, and I stress cold front, it's really just a boundary. It's going to drop our temperatures a handful of degrees. A true cold front could be coming in on Sunday. That's going to be the one that we'll have to watch for some good temperature drops. But this one, it looks like it's about right here. So once this back edge moves in, I think that would really end the strong and severe storm risk for our area, even though it's on that kind of very low end. We just got that marginal risk across the area. So watching these getting across parts of Marshall County right now, and it could back build into Giles and Lawrence County. I'm not seeing clear evidence of that yet, but this is kind of that batch that we're going to be watching next on top of these moving into parts of northern Alabama. Those could also become severe, and we might have to keep a close eye on those across our area. Also, that one down here in Morgan County. But elsewhere, it's just patches of storms with some thunder and lightning and some locally heavy rainfall. I'm not really seeing anything that's looking like it's going to become severe anytime soon. I will say that the Storm Prediction Center just issued a mesoscale discussion, and they're saying the chance of watch being issued is just 5%. You don't really get a watch on a marginal risk day. The chance of getting one usually starts with a slight risk, and we do not have that today. So not expecting a severe watch, but I cannot completely rule out some additional severe warnings across the area. Sam, you got anything else before we toss things back?
Take a look at probably the wind on that again.
Yeah, go real quick, and we'll look at this. Do the loop, because I'm thinking that it's showing the base, please. Yeah, I think that, so that's what that is. So the radar is seeing the storm collapse. That's your downburst. That's winds going that way out of the storm. That's winds going this way out of the storm. So the storm itself is coming down like this. That's that bell shape that I mentioned that was on the Huntsville camera earlier. You got those storms that are the winds are pushing out away from the storm. So that is a downburst signature right here in Lincoln County. So I wouldn't be shocked if near Bellevue, along 231, 431, dry across the state line in Tennessee, or near Flintville, that you might be seeing some gustier winds, 40, maybe 50 miles per hour. And there could be a 60 mile per hour gust in there. It just depends on how strong that downburst gets. And that's right with this core right here. So again, that's the storm going up and then collapsing, and that's the wind coming down from it. So whenever you see that red and green kind of on the opposite sides of each other, that's the winds coming down and going out away from the storm. We do have a report of a tree down at 2502 Rochelle Drive Northwest. That's the northwest side of Huntsville. So it looks like we had a couple of trees down. That would also be kind of in that area of Oakwood College, or Oakwood University, I should say. So looks like there might have been some tree damage from some maybe winds around 50 to 60 miles per hour across the northwest side of Huntsville a little earlier ago. So that's the latest on this one. Again, severe thunderstorm warning goes for another 50 minutes, I believe, and then this one will likely be allowed to expire. We're not expecting long-lived storms today. These are very pulse type. There's not a lot of wind shear present, so these will be coming up and they'll be going down, kicking out an outflow, and then you'll get more development along that outflow beyond that. So yeah, that's that downburst signature. Winds going that way and then that way out of the storm. The storm's just collapsing like that. All right, let's back things out real quick, then we'll toss things back to our programming, because that's the only severe warning that we have on the board, and we covered that. We had that a flash flood warning as well. Not dealing with tornadoes today, thank goodness. Not dealing with tornadoes. Making sure of that, not dealing with those today. So the only thing we're watching is just those storms right now across Tennessee, along with the ones in North Alabama. But this is kind of where that front should be at this point. So that's what we got on the board right now. One severe thunderstorm warning, flash flood warning continues for the Huntsville metro area, but rain's not happening there. So any flood waters will start to recede rather quickly. All right, so for Sam Camp, I am meteorologist Taylor Plott. Thank you for sticking with us here at the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel. We'll continue to watch these storms. Of course, any warnings that come back on the board will be back here in a moment's notice, and we'll keep you advised.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.